I'm going to talk about 3 misleading healthy food labels. Misleading food label number 1, no added sugar. While it sounds great, it's important to look on the back and read the fine print. This is usually the manufacturer's way to disguise the fact that there's large amounts of sugar in a product. What you want to look for instead of the no added sugar label is you actually want to look at the total amount of sugar. Whether it comes from table sugar, whether it comes from a large concentrated amount of fruits, sugar is sugar. So you do want to make sure that you're not having large concentrated amounts of sugar because it reacts the same way in the body. I'm going to use the example of fruit smoothies and fruit drinks. While they might sound great, oftentimes they have a large concentrated amount of sugar in them. It would be much better for your body if you actually ate a piece of fruit like an orange or an apple, or even juiced just one orange with some greens. This would be a much healthier option. Excess sugar in the body can have negative effects from inflammation, risk to disease and sickness, increased cravings, impacting blood glucose levels, and even contributing to fatty liver disease. Misleading food label number 2, fat-free or low fat. It sounds great, but fat is not necessarily a bad thing depending on where it's coming from. Usually when a packaged food says low fat or fat-free, if you look at the back of the ingredients, it's probably got a high amount of sugar and a lot of processed ingredients. And remember, fat in moderation is not a bad thing depending on the source. Our hormones actually do need fat in order to function properly. And last but not least, misleading food label number 3, natural or all natural. Unfortunately, there's no strict regulation on what the manufacturer can list as natural. So in other words, you could have natural chicken that's raised on antibiotics. It also doesn't regulate whether they can use preservatives, and also, if you're dealing with animal products, whether the animal was actually treated humanely. Remember that in order to make an informed decision, you do want to make sure that you're looking at the labels. Don't just read the actual front of the label. Make sure that you're turning it around, looking at the ingredient list, looking at all of the nutrients, and then you can make a better, well-educated decision.